Welcome to Truth Be Told, the podcast about how to live a genuine and authentic life. Today, we are going to talk about a different truth, one that is rather unfortunate and that many may face in their life, that even I have faced in my life. I'm talking about unemployment. Now, let me just say, losing your job stinks. Whether it was being let go of by your company, being fired or laid off, or whether you're someone who is unable to find work, like it's just not pleasant. To these people who are in that situation, my heart goes out to you. But despair not. What lessons do you need to learn in order for you to be healthy, to be well, to be strong in times of unemployment, so that you be strong and that you be in control of the narrative of the end of the situation? My father actually told me many times, like, yeah, you know what, son, I've actually been there. And, it's a job. They come and go, you'll bounce back. And like, even though I was just not happy about no longer being employed, it doesn't feel good. Yeah, I get it. Like for all this time, you have this income, you have the benefits, you feel you have a status because you have an employment, that you have responsibilities, that you have routine. And all of a sudden, it disappears. It ends. Listen, whatever emotions that you're feeling, it's okay to acknowledge them. I've been through it. I've had my moments where one day I'm okay. The other day I'm vindictive. Like I'm just livid. Yet I needed to control the narrative, because if I let this whole unemployment, the situation control me, I'm not gonna do myself any good. In fact, there's two types of strategies that you could classify as. One where you control the narrative, that's the adaptive strategy. And some examples of things that you do are you focus on is how you look after yourself. What do you do now? What actions are you going to take? What's your plan of action? Just to name a few. Meanwhile, a problematic response is you go, game over. This is it. You distance yourself from all the connection that you have, your friends, your family. You push them away. And you are constantly negative. Which would you rather have? A problematic response where you let yourself go, or an adaptive strategy which is going to build you forward? Last week, we've heard me and Majin talk about the 5 stages of grieving. 1, denial. You don't accept reality. 2, anger. You're angry at everyone, at some certain situation. You felt the blame. 3, bargaining. You make some promise with God. 4, you become depressed. This is the lowest point. This is where you have like your darkest mood. And 5, you accept what is. You find your new ways with life. Now, some people might not go with through grief. Some might not go through these 5 stages in that exact order. Some might not go through certain stages. If there are emotions that are serving up, yeah, it's okay to acknowledge them, but at the same time, learn to manage them. Managing your emotions is one of the key factors while you are going through unemployment, because it's a narrative, it is rather a situation where you have the ability to be in power. I mean, think about this. Like you're unemployed at home, but then here's the 2 things that you can do. One of them, you're just sulking at home, feeling sorry for yourself, and fiddling around. The other one, you're taking on projects. You're setting some goals. You're developing skills. Like you're figuring out, like, what's next. Which one feels better? You also have to find out, like, what are your values, your purpose, your mission. There's going to be a lot of work that you can do on, I don't know, like your resume, on perhaps even your hard skills, your soft skills. And do you decide that you want to go back to some post-secondary institution to take some course, or do you want to go to a totally different career path? Use the resources that you can in order to find the career trajectory. Does it happen that you find yourself lost, and then like after you're unemployed, you don't know where you belong? Yes, it's important to look after yourself. Like just do things to build your self-esteem. Like do some exercise, have hobbies, eat healthy, and but most important, avoid avoid things like biases in thinking. If your biases in thinking is when you assume like the very worst. Some examples would be mind reading, and that's when you assume what people think of you. For example, when people will think that they have a negative view of you because you're unable to find a job. Yes, I did that mistake. I was taking dance lessons, and at one point, I felt so embarrassed because I had trouble finding work that I, at one point, just stopped. My dance instructor was contacting me saying, like, am I okay? He even thought that I had moved out of town. But no, I came back and people were happy to see me. One even did a double take when, as if she saw a ghost. But avoid those biases. They are just detrimental to the way that you think. And those ruminations, like all these bad ideas, they're get them out of your head. You need to think positively. Like it's almost like if you get like bad ideas, kind of like those typical those negative biases. it, the best analogy is the hamster that is continuously running on the wheel, but the difference is that you're the hamster and the wheel is negative ideas. You're just running on negative ideas and running on negative ideas, and you're just gonna get stuck there, and it's just like, oh, I'm never gonna get employed, and oh, these people are thinking this of me, and oh, there's no room for error, or I'm gonna be rejected. If you actually get all of these thoughts in your head, it's not going to make you feel any better. However, if you give yourself a talk where it's better, or where you actually think positively of yourself, you're going to feel good. Imagine giving yourself a talk wherein you say, this interview is going to go well. I'm going to give my best pitch. And you give this self-talk over and over and over and over and over again. No matter what the outcome is, you're going to feel a lot better. A victim versus feeling empowered. How can you control the narrative so that the situation be under your control? As a victim, you are going to deflect the blame. You're going to point the fingers at others. You're going to resist. You could resist solutions. You could you get impatient, or as someone who's empowered, what are your goals? What responsibility do you have? It's a lot to think already, isn't it? I know in the past few minutes I may have unloaded into your head, but this is a conversation. This is something that I hope that we get into our minds, because in the past 3 years, it's been rough. And if anything, the mental aspect, the mental health needs to be focused on. Being mentally healthy is critical to surviving employment. You could have a well-tailored resume. You could have you could use your resources, but to survive on employment, you need to be well, in your head. Like, you need to have the tool and resources so that you feel confident, so that you can feel like you are empowered, so that you are worthy. You are someone who deserves to be back to being employed. You deserve to be someone who needs to be stable. You need to be someone who is smiling, who is happy, who is someone who feels that, yeah, you know what? Even though this is an unfortunate circumstance, there is a way that I am going to bounce back. You need to take care of yourselves. Okay? You connect with others. It may be with with new friends, old friends. It could be maybe through volunteering. You may have some networking event. And by the way, here's uh here's the little words of wisdom that my dad has actually taught me in life. Yeah, I talk a lot about my dad, but you know what? I I lost we lost him in 2018. We miss him every day, but I've learned a lot from him that your job does not define you. You know, if a job, yeah, it's just a job, but you need to separate that from your life. There's your personal life, and then there's your life. Start living. Have it separated from you. You know, and also make sure you do things to be healthy. Exercise, eat healthy, because I've actually gone through a period where I did not take good care of myself. In about a year and a half, I went through a period where I gained a whopping 50 pounds. Yeah, my personal doctor even had told me that, showed me the chart, and it was scary. One Christmas, my siblings were wondering, you know, what happened, because they were noticing some of my clothes were not fitting like they used to. And I even looked at some of my old photos from then, and my head looks like a Mardi Gras float. 2018, I did some, I took some major, I did some major life changes, and I slimmed down. I did some, lost about like 15 to 25 pounds. I ate better, had a better the lifestyle. I had no more seizures, and cut out alcohol. But you can only got one body. Make sure that you take care of it. So that being said, going back, when I wanted to do this episode, I wanted to say that unemployment really stunk. And there are measures that you can take that so that you can be stable. There's many resources that are available. You can use some friends, you can use families, you can use even staffing agencies that'll be able to help you out. There's school, there's even if you need to go on any employment insurance, that might be able to help you out. And now everyone's unemployment story is different. I realize that I'm aware of. As you're listening to this episode, I know that you are definitely having your own story to tell. You have your own truth. My only hope is that you live your truth goes from goes into a success story. It's not something that can be done easily. But I'll tell you this: once you've gone through that marathon, you can look back and say, all that all that hard work, I did it, and now I'm a champion. That being said, thank you so much for listening, and remember,